Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing about the parable of the Good Samaritan, and we'll discuss as well about the love of God, because what this parable shows us is the love and the mercy of God. And let us read it. This parable is found in Luke chapter 10 from verses 25 to 37. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tested him, saying, "Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?" He said to him, "What is written in the law? What is your reading of it?" So he answered and said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And he said to him, "You have answered rightly. Do this and you will live." But he, wanting to justify himself, said to Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Then Jesus answered and said, "A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, who stripped him of his clothing, wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a certain priest came down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Likewise a Levite, when he arrived at the place, came and looked and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. So he went to him and bandaged his wounds, putting on oil and wine. And he set him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. On the next day, when he departed, he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said to him, "Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, when I come again, I will repay you." So which of these 3 do you think was neighbor to him who fell among the thieves? And he said, "He who showed mercy on him." Then Jesus said to him, "Go and do likewise." So here we see a certain lawyer, a certain man, asking Jesus how to obtain, how to receive an eternal life. And Jesus answered him with another question. The question was, "What is written in the law? What is your reading of it?" And he answered and said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And then the question was, who was his neighbor? He asked this Jesus, and Jesus told him a parable about the Good Samaritan, that people came along, saw a man that was wounded, that was attacked by thieves, was wounded, and none of them helped him. But who helped that man was a Samaritan. Now, why is Jesus using this kind of parable? Why exactly a Samaritan helped that wounded poor man? Why? Let me tell you about the Samaritans. That was a nation that was forming part of the north kingdom of Israel, because Israel was divided a long time ago in 2 kingdoms, the kingdom of south and the kingdom of north. And then the kingdom of north fell under the rule of the Assyrians around 8th century BC, before Christ. And since then, those remaining Israelites there were mixed with the other nations, with the other Assyrians, and they mixed up all their cultures, all their ways they were having. And they were already divided with the people from Judah, from the other Jewish, and their culture and the way they worship God was also different since then. But then, when they mixed up with the other nations, because they fell under their rule, they mixed up even more, and they forgot some of the ways they were having in the beginning, and the way they worshipped God since then was different from the way the Jews were used to. And the Jewish used to worship God in Jerusalem, and the other people, the ones that later on were called Samaritans, used to worship on the Mount Gerizim. And so they differed in these ways, and that's why they were so despised by the Jewish. And why is it Jesus gave exactly this example with the Samaritan helping the wounded guy who was a Jew? Why? Because the Jewish used to despise the Samaritans, and the Samaritan helped a guy that despised him so much. So this is where the love of God is shown. When you show a love towards someone who despises you, someone that doesn't like you at all. It's easy sometimes to show love to those who are close to you, to your parents or someone who is related to you, someone who is your friend, or someone who is who you don't even like much, but you don't either hate him maybe. But when you show the love towards someone who is against you, towards someone who uses you, or towards someone who despises you, is different. We usually want a revenge. We usually want to show him back what he shows toward us. But this is the love of God, the love toward our enemies. It's easier even to show love to someone that you yourself despise. Then eventually you're gonna say, the poor guy, I'll eventually help him and show him some mercy or give him something. But to show this to someone who doesn't like you, someone who hates you, and you show him love, is something different. This is something extraordinary. This is not usual love. It's not an ordinary love here. This is the love of God, because God himself on the cross showed his love toward persons who despise him, toward persons who crucified him. And today still people despise him and people reject God, but he wants to show his love toward them, and he still died for them. Romans chapter 5 verse 8 says, "But God demonstrates his own love toward us, in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." And here's where the love of God is shown toward sinners that despise him, that reject him. Obviously, once that they accept God, they change, but he gave them opportunity. He gives opportunity while he doesn't see anything from the other side, and toward people that despise him. And that's why Jesus gave exactly this kind of example, giving as an example this Samaritan who was despised by others, but he eventually helped those guys, those ones who despise him. We can even see that people who were close or who were related to that Jew didn't help him, but exactly the Samaritan did. And here Jesus is not saying the Samaritans are better. He just gave this example to show the Jew what is the love of God. He could have called this parable maybe the good Roman or the good Greek or the good Jew, but he used exactly this example to show him the difference between an ordinary love and the love of God, to show the love towards someone who doesn't like you. This we cannot do naturally by our own strength. The only way we can show this love is by accepting first the love of Jesus toward us, because when we understand that he showed this love toward us who were sinners and who used to despise him, he still died for us, then we can show this love toward the others. Each other effort we can do to show love will be useless if we don't understand first the love of God, because naturally we can't show it. Naturally we will always help to those who are close or who are related to us, and even if we try to help the others, it won't be sincerely shown, it won't be from our heart. But here we see all the efforts that this Samaritan did. He didn't just help this guy out of the road, he didn't just get him out of that place, but he even brought him to an inn where he paid for him. He did something complete, and he gave what he could, everything he could there. And here we see a different kind of love. When we accept the love of God, we first start loving him, and then after we start loving our neighbor. And our neighbor many times could be someone who could be against us or who we are not so pleased to love, but the love of God will be in us and can enable us to do it. It will be still hard, sometimes, but with God giving us strength, it is possible. When we were sinners, when the people were sinners, when God didn't see anything, anyone who was looking for him, anyone who was seeking for him, he still died for those people. And then after, when they acknowledged that mercy, their hearts were broken and those people believed. So this is what I had to say on this topic, and if you want to subscribe for more videos, thank you for watching.